And we got a lovely nurse there down there as well, Lee Evans, who you saw at the Rafah border when he go to the Rafah border, begged the Egyptians to let him through, but they didn't. And we can't forget our Rabbi brothers. In your day, MashaAllah, Rabbi Beck, where are you? Make some noise for Rabbi Beck! Our Jewish brothers always come and support us, and we stand by them each and every time. Sorry to interrupt. There is some food on the right-hand side. Sorry, I forgot to mention. There's some food on the right-hand side. It is totally up to you if you want to make a donation. If you want to have some food, it has been provided very kindly. W Palestine Solidarity Group do a weekly feed every Tuesday. 1,000 hot meals are provided in Beit Hanun every Tuesday and every Friday. 130 feeds have been completed with video footage. If you'd like to go and have some food and make a donation towards the Gaza daily feed. Now, he wasn't here, he's here now. Make some noise for Shaykh Asrar, who helped us put this together. Noise for Shaykh Asrar, come on everyone. I'll go you. Noise for Shaykh Asrar. The original ulama rebel is here. He says it how he is, and that's how it should be said. All the lineup that is here today, some of them from the left, we call them the misfits. And then the one that's here, we don't call them the misfits. They are the ones that speak the truth. They are the ones that stand up for Gaza. So make some noise for them again. Come on. Now I will introduce to you the one and only David Miller. He fought for his job, stood up for Gaza, and he nearly lost his job. And he won his case. So make some noise from David Miller. Round of applause for David Miller, everyone.
Thank you very much, brothers, sisters, comrades, friends. I'm very pleased to be here in Birmingham. I've spoken about it for a long time. And this is an exalted platform I stand on with many other speakers who are way better than me. And I'm slightly humbled to be speaking alongside. But we should also remember that all of us on this platform have been banned from platforms up and down the country by the movement so far. And that's because we are anti-Zionists. I took my case when I sacked. I didn't nearly lose my job. I didn't lose my job. I took my case to the Employment Tribunal, and the Employment Tribunal declared that I had been wrongfully dismissed. And the reason I had been dismissed was because I had anti-Zionist views, and I had the temerity to express those anti-Zionist views. And the court also determined that anti-Zionist views were worthy of respect in a democratic society. They are anti-racist views. And now the university is going to appeal that decision. They go to court again in November, and I firmly expect that they will lose again in November, and then we will establish the principle that anti-Zionist views are protected under law as a firm principle of British law. So what I wanted to say today, Miriam, is that look, we are at about a turning point with the question of Palestine, of how we respond to genocide, how we respond to Zionism. Today, up and down the country, in Manchester, in London, in other places, some 70 or 80 people have been arrested for saying that they support Palestine action. Two weeks ago, it was perfectly possible to say, I support Palestine action. Now, it's not possible to say, I support Palestine action. And the difficulty, of course, is that the law, people don't understand the law and the judgment is made against Palestine action and the appeal that they made in the court the other week. So it's not illegal to support direct action against Israeli arms firms in this country. It's not illegal to say they should be smashed up and they should be closed down. And they should. It's not illegal to say, I support an organization called X to smash up the Israeli arms firms. It's not illegal. It's only illegal if you say you support Palestine action. So don't say you support Palestine action unless you want to get arrested and to join the hundreds of others who have already been arrested and who will surely make this law unworkable. But it's a turning point as well because we move towards the launching of a separate anti-Zionist movement in this country. George has already been on X on Twitter to say that he wants to launch a campaign for a one-state solution to the question of Palestine. And that is the only solution. A one-state solution is the only solution to the question of Palestine. A two-state solution is not a solution. A two-state solution is the continuation of the Jewish state, the genocidal Jewish state in the Levant. There can be no peace. There can be no end to genocide without the collapsing and the eradication of the Zionist entity in occupied Palestine. It must be one state, and it must be a Palestinian state. And so that's why it's important for us to think about how we join together to build an anti-Zionist movement, which is not compromised by the mistaken and failed two-state solution. We have to build a movement which is capable not just of challenging the Zionist entity in occupied Palestine, also challenging the British government and its complicity, but also, let's remember, of challenging the Zionist movement in this country. There are some 3,000 Zionist organizations in the UK. There are Zionist organizations in every single town and city in this land. There are Zionist organizations in this city. You know this. These are organizations which on a daily basis are providing support to the genocide. They radicalize young Jews to believe they have a birthright in Palestine. There is no such right. They also send money directly to the Israeli occupation forces, and they send money as supporters to the settlements in the West Bank, and indeed in what's called Israel 48. But all these organizations must be shut down. So people say to me, well, what can we do? We demonstrated, we went on the streets and nothing stopped. And I say, well, you've got to demonstrate, you've got to be on the streets, we've got to continue to do that, but we can also escalate. We have to escalate by involving ourselves in smashing up the arms front, yes, by stopping the British government and challenging the Labour government, but we also need to be directly targeting Zionist organisations wherever they are. Letters, campaigns, demonstrations outside the offices of these organisations, they're everywhere. We can look them up, find them, and close these organisations down. And so the most important thing I think to say is that it's not just a question of ending the occupation in Palestine, it's not just a question of stopping the British government's complicity with genocide, it's also a question of shutting down the entire Zionist movement all over the world. Thank you.
Brothers and sisters, give it up for David Miller. David Miller, as you know, was accused of anti-Semitism and fought his case and won. There are many people around the country, around the world, standing up for the Palestinians. The likes of Nika, give it up for Nika. Give it up for Bob Miller. And give it up for the UN Special Rapporteur, Francesca Albanese. Give it up for Yemen. Give it up for Lebanon. Give it up for Iran. And give it up for the activists standing up here in the United Kingdom. We have specifically chosen this location. We have specifically chosen this location because those of you who are local know that the BBC have their studios behind us. The British Broadcasting Corporation, the national entity that is the British Corporation, is actually complicit in genocide. BBC, pick a side. Justice or genocide. BBC, pick a side. 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 More than 200 journalists have lost their lives in Gaza. Not forgetting our journalists. We remember our journalists. Surely you must protect your own profession, those who are in your field. And certainly we don't have from the British Broadcasting Corporation. Shame, shame. BBC, shame, shame. BBC, 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 your hands are red, over 100,000 dead. BBC, your hands are red. your hands are red. BBC, your hands are red. BBC, you can't hide. We charge you with genocide. BBC, you can't hide. BBC, you can't hide. BBC, you can't hide. BBC, you can't hide. I would urge every single one of you not to pay your TV license and don't watch this film. They have tried to silence Gary Lineker, who's been a humanitarian, a big voice, who sadly had to leave his job, and he's a strong voice, and we must support the people like Gary Lineker. We mustn't forget the medic documentary that was meant to be shown on the BBC that was pulled, unfortunately taken up by Channel 4. That was explicit, that was concise. We know that there was interference. Yvette Cooper, shame, shame. Yvette Cooper, Yvette Cooper, Yvette Cooper, Yvette Cooper. Also for the action that they have taken against Palestine action. It is not activists that who spray paint. They don't use violence against individuals. They are using against the tools of the genocide. I have another chance for you. Are you ready for this one? Are you ready for this one? If you know, and you will get it. Genocide in Palestine, time to take action. So I will say genocide in Palestine, you will say time to take action. Genocide in Palestine, 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 time to take action. It is about direct action. This is the only way these people listen. Many governments, many regimes, many countries, many politicians, all explicit. And I'm sure the other speakers will touch on what we've said. So, right, I'm going to pass you over to free, 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 from the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Now when I say down, down, you say down, down, the idea. Down, 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 down. MashaAllah. Make some noise for Elhanan, who went from Mars to Gaza. Lee, MashaAllah.
Inshallah. Thank you. And salam alaikum. This one. Okay. Oh, them both. Wow, I'm like a proper rock star.
We do it in pairs. We do it in pairs.
Okay. Salam alaikum. And Sat Shri Akal and Shalom. Thank you for being here. I never intended being famous, and now that I'm a terrorist as well. I would like to put a caveat, how do you say it, into my speech. So my caveat is, I am not here to say I support Palestine action, because that's illegal. So I'm definitely not going to say I support Palestine action. It's not why I'm here. So you're all very beautiful. You are all humanity, regardless of creed, color, religion, sexuality, nationality. We are all just humanity, and you've all got beauty in your hearts, and you've all got empathy in your hearts, and you give the greatest gift that we can give to the people of Palestine, and you give hope. And hope is something that they've been lacking for 78 years, because it's not true what this building behind you says. It didn't start on October the 7th. It's been going on for 78 years. So you're all humanity, and we are all one, regardless of anything.
Give it up. Come on, guys.
Oh, yep. Time for cheering. Time for cheering. And shouting things like free Palestine. Yeah, free Palestine. It should be free. It really should be free. If it wasn't for the Americans, 27 times they've used their right to veto in the UN to stop Palestine being part of the United Nations. They have no rationale other than their greed and the fact that they're owned by Zionists. Israel couldn't do what it does if it wasn't for the help of Britain and the other Western countries, because again, they're all owned by Zionists. Yvette Cooper took £250,000, I believe it was, from the Zionist lobby. Keir Starver took even more. Shame. Shame on them. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the Filton 18, I got to put a shout out for the Filton 18. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. They are political prisoners in Britain. When we talk about political prisoners in Britain, Britain likes to point the finger at other countries, but there's plenty of political prisoners here. The Filton 1801. Myself, I've been accused as a terrorist. Sue, the 83-year-old vicar who's retired, was arrested with me on Saturday, and her only crime was holding up a placard with some words on it. My crime was I held up a white rose and I talked. I talked at Westminster, which is supposed to be the home of democracy in Britain. Shame. Shame on you. I was there, a Zionist, absolutely, Zionist. I was there on behalf of Defend Our Jewries, because our legal system is under attack in this country. They're trying to take away the right for certain groups to use jewries, and they're trying to take away the right, and they have taken the right away from the Filton 18 to use certain words as justification for their actions. And all of us have been labelled terrorism. Whilst it's quite refreshing to have white British terrorists, that's a very refreshing thing. I can guarantee you we are not terrorists. The Filton 18, they went into an Albert Aztec factory and they broke drones which mimic babies crying. And when people, compassionate people like ourselves, go out to see why the babies are crying, they shoot them. Shame, shame. That is terrorism. That is pure terrorism, which is being conducted by Britain, America, and Israel, the Zionist entity personified. So why do we shout death, death? Why do we shout this? If you listen to the building behind us, and if you listen to the Zionist right-wing media of Britain, they have a moral high ground. So why does a terrorist organization, which came to the meeting of three terrorist organizations that came together and originally killed a lot of British soldiers, have the right to a moral high ground? Is it that they are complicit and are enabling the apartheid fascism that is happening in Palestine? Does this give you the moral high ground? No, shouldn't give you the moral high ground. Is it because they shoot innocent people? No, that shouldn't give you the moral high ground. Is it because they shoot proud fathers when they're going to get bread for their children? No, that doesn't give you the moral high ground. Is it because they bomb teenage girls in their beds? No, that shouldn't give you the moral high ground. Is it because they starve 1.5 million people in Gaza? Half of those people are children, half of those children are under the age of 10. Does that give you the moral high ground? Is it because they have just turned the West Bank with 3.25 million people in it, half of those people children, half of those children under 10, as they've turned that into now the biggest concentration camp the world has ever seen? Does that give you the moral high ground? So why do they have the moral high ground? Because they're supported by the BBC, and they were supported by the British government, they're supported by the American government, and they are the violent arm of the right-wing fascist Nazi organization that is Israel. Shame. Shame. They burn children in their beds. They use starvation as a weapon. This is terrorism. So let's have a look at some of the lies that are told. There is a war in Palestine. There isn't. There is one side attacking, and innocent people a peaceful people, a hospitable people, people who have the true devotion of Islam in their hearts. Even though these people know that my country is complicit, and even though most of them didn't know I was there as a nurse, they still welcomed me into their hearts. They welcomed me into their homes. They shared their food with me. They invited me home for iftar when I am there in Ramadan. Let's have a look at some other lies they tell. Anti-Semitism. Anti-Semitism, what does it mean? Oh, there's a big word. Anti-Semitism actually means that you are against the Semite-speaking Arabic tribes of the Arabic nations. So the biggest anti-Semite nation and force on this planet at the moment is Israel. Yes. Because they are trying to wipe out an entire Semitic people. Are there any other lies they tell? We can't use the word Holocaust. It's a terrible word, it really is. But it literally means burnt offering to a god. And who is making burnt offerings to their god greed and their god money at the moment? It's Israel. So shame. Shame on this building behind me. Shame on the organization called the British Broadcasting Company when they do not represent the people of Britain. They are a bully, yeah? What is happening in Palestine at the moment is going to scar humanity. It is the closest I have ever seen to what I imagined Nazi Germany to look like. There's checkpoints everywhere. If you haven't got the right papers for the checkpoint, you're not going through. At these checkpoints, they will pull Muslim families and anybody out of their vehicles. They will strip proud fathers and mothers naked at the side of the road at gunpoint. Shame. Shame on them. This will scar humanity worse than Nazi Germany because humanity is watching. And humanity is gathered today, and humanity stood up for the impassioned appeal I gave to the riot police in the Egyptian desert. 175 million people have now seen that and liked it and stood up. This is humanity. The rest of humanity has got its head in the sand. When you've got your head in the sand, your behind is sticking up in the air. So what can we do? Everything you're doing. Everything you're doing is beautiful and it brings hope to the people of Palestine. But we can all do more. We can all be more active. We can all sign more petitions. We can shut down our politicians if they're complicit. We can look at the ISM. If you don't know who the ISM are, they're the International Solidarity Movement, and they've been working hard in Palestine for decades. They're even mentioned in the Yasser Arafat Museum in the beautiful city of Ramallah. So the resilience of the people of Palestine and the resilience of the people of Gaza have shone a light on what is happening in Palestine. Now it's up to us, the people of humanity, to pick up the torch of that light and carry it forwards. I thank you all for being here. You're all beautiful. You are all humanity.
Thank you so much to Lee Evans, all the way from Wales. Brothers and sisters, give it up for Lee Evans. Lee Evans, alongside the 4,000 activists that went around the world from 18 countries into Egypt. Egypt is also complicit in this genocide, and they will face the wrath because we know we are on the right side of history. I just want to take an opportunity to say special homage to the Filton 18, who have taken action against Elbit Systems, the Israeli arms manufacturer. Brothers and sisters, please show your respect for the Filton 18, who are in prison, who are being silenced. The British authorities are stopping from us speaking. They are trying to silence us. The Filton 18 are innocent alongside many, many activists, and we pray that they are vindicated and they are free, and rightly they belong amongst us. We mustn't forget Kashmir. As you can see, I'm wearing a Kashmir flag. So from Kashmir to Palestine, Occupation is a crime, and we mustn't forget Srebrenica, 30 years that we are marking today. This week we are marking Srebrenica, where more than 8,000 Muslim boys and men lost their lives, and we mustn't forget Bosnia and Srebrenica. So please give it up for Srebrenica as well. We remember them. It was the greatest genocide in history, but now it's being live streamed in front of our eyes. Those who are silent, they are also complicit. You must pick a side. If you are silent, then you are also part of the problem. Without further ado, we have got some more speakers, and I'm sure you're waiting for some of your favorites. They are behind us and waiting to speak. I would like to invite our next local speaker, who's very renowned for his religious work and also his activism on Palestine, that has spoken very, very heavenly, and he has a channel that you can actually go on, and he speaks about many topics. Brothers and sisters, please give it up for the respected Shaykh Asrar Rashid, Birmingham born and bred.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I wanted to say that if Palestinians did not have weapons, their state today would be what happened to the Bosnians, that they would be slaughtered. This is why we as Muslims, we take up armed struggle. We take up armed struggle, and we are not ashamed of it. We have jihad in our Quran, and jihad is standing up against oppression. And what the Palestinian people are doing today is armed struggle, is to stand up against the bankers' state, which is known as Israel. Today, when people vote, they think they are voting for foreign policy. But let me tell you something, Keir Starmer's foreign policy is written out for him by those who finance him and by the bankers and the corporations. Do not think elections will ever affect foreign policy. He may have his budgets, he has his budgets and the Conservatives and the Labour Party, they only differ on how they will spend the budget. But their foreign policy is written out by think tanks. Those think tanks are controlled by corporations. Those corporations are controlled by the chairmen of those corporations. Those chairmen of those corporations will be linked to Mr. Donald Trump and Mr. Benjamin Netanyahu, who are war criminals. And when all of this interlocking system, whether it's the UAE, which is the Arab capitalist state of the world today, which is complicit in the genocide, whether it's any of the other Arab states which are complicit in the genocide, they are all a part of the interlocking capitalist system, which is writing out the policy which me and you think that when we vote for any party today, that party, whether it's the Labour Party or the Conservative Party, have an independent foreign policy. Foreign policy does not change. It didn't change from Mr. Anthony Blair, who changed his name to Tony to seem more common. It didn't change from the time of Tony Blair when 1 million people marched, and it has not changed today. This is why the Palestinians are justified in their armed resistance, in taking up their weapons. They have every right to make weapons. They have every right to utilize those weapons. The Palestinian people today are fighting the bankers' state, the capitalist state, which is defended by corporate capitalism, because it is the capitalist last colonial settler state which has been made, like Australia, like New Zealand, like Canada, like the United States of America. It's one of those states which has been set up, but there is a difference between the Palestinian and the Aborigine. The Aborigines were a great people. The Native Americans were a great people. The Palestinians are a great people. But there is the concept of jihad, which they have attempted to malign from 9/11, when Al-Qaeda, which was formulated by the West in the first place to malign the concept of jihad in order to undermine real jihad. You have terrorist organizations made by the deep state to malign real jihad when real jihad is carried out. When real jihad is carried out, people will malign the real jihad because they will equate those real jihad groups with terrorist groups. And this is today why when we walk through the Birmingham city center, you'll notice the difference between Stratford Road, where we live, and the people that were in the belly of the beast, in the imperial cities of the belly of the beast. You will notice them wearing their trades, clothing, and all of this capitalism. But you will notice the indifference on the faces. There is an indifference on the faces of people because they are so engrossed in wearing Calvin Klein as a billboard. Which idiot wears the names of a man who's earning millions and you wear his name as a billboard? This is the level of people's intellects today. Additionally, you have the media. So we are standing in front of the British bullshit corporation, and as we stand outside, we know that people are paying the TV license. Which democracy has people paying to watch television? You tell me, is that the sign of oligarchy coming in the form of democracy, or is it when you have taxation to pay television? They said to me that Taliban are bad. They are Taliban because they banned the television. But you tell me, what's the difference between the Taliban banning television and the British government charging people to watch television? There's a tax to pay television. Go and tell people across the world that in our country, we have to pay money to watch television. So this media blockout that we have, we know about it when this Birmingham City Council, it went bust, and Keir Starmer and his government, they have money to spend abroad for war. They have money to send RAF jets across to defend the Zionist entity, yet they do not have money for the homeless in Birmingham and London. They do not have money to clean up our streets. And there are people who work in the council who do not even realize these basic facts. We are taxed so much today in this country that our tax is utilized for war. We have the black budget, which is given to the MI5 and the MI6. I'm sure some of them are present. Welcome to them as well. And the black budget is then utilized on those RAF jets, and they have no shame in arresting Sue, who is an 83-year-old woman who was arrested for being a part of Palestine action. Have some shame on yourself before you arrest Sue, an 83-year-old woman. Go and arrest Benjamin Netanyahu. Go to the Israeli embassy and arrest all the staff in the Israeli embassy. People who have no shame. Instead of arresting old women and old men, go and arrest the people in the Israeli embassy. But you will not, because they control your capital. They control your finance. They write down your policies for you. These think tanks that write down all your policies are those think tanks which you work for. And that is the reality that we are facing. And I will say that we must continue what we are doing, keep doing what we are doing, raise awareness. Do not underestimate protests. Do not underestimate every action you do, because if it were not having an effect, then the Palestinian resistance would not call upon the people of the world to continue protesting, to continue taking action. And remember, we call out also to King Charles. I know, King Charles, we live in a constitutional monarchy. Your moves are limited. I know that you are controlled by capitalism. But King Charles, take the moral step. We know every Charles faced government. Charles I was beheaded. Charles III at least make some statement. Royal family at least make some statement. And you are not controlled by the capitalist economy. Allah gives freedom to Palestine and to all the activists. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Right, we're just sorting out technical. Please give it up for Shaykh Asrar, the respected Shaykh Asrar. Some very important and profound words by the Shaykh, very eloquently put on a very multiple facet, and he must be congratulated for his contribution that he makes towards the cause and many other people like him. We must stay behind our leaders and we must amplify the voice that is rightly that we need to be raising. Right, our guests, the new Trikarta rabbis who are here all the way from London. and they very kindly arrived yesterday, and today they are observing Shabbat. They are not allowed to use any electronics and not meant to be anywhere near. So I will be respectful and stay away from the rabbis, and I would ask their permission to read out a statement that they've said. But before I read out, just before I read out, this is, I've got a big loud voice. I'm sure you've heard me before. I just want to ask Rabbi Beck, even though Rabbi, can somebody just grab that, please? I know even Rabbi Beck is not, and Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Haim, Rabbi Beck. I just want Rabbi to say his own chant in his own way. Do a chant.
Down, down, Israel!
Down, down, Israel!
Down, down, Israel!
Down, down, Israel!
End the occupation now!
End the occupation now!
From the river to the sea!
From the river to the sea!
Palestine will be free!
Palestine will be free!
State of Israel, shame, shame!
State of Israel, shame, shame!
You don't speak in the Jewish name!
You don't speak in the Jewish name!
State of Israel, shame, shame!
State of Israel, shame, shame!
You don't speak in the Jewish name!
You don't speak in the Jewish name!
Down, down, the IDF!
Down, down, the IDF!
Free, free Palestine!
Free Palestine! Thank you so much, Rabbi Haim, in his own words. So we have the rabbis, when it's not Shabbat, I promise you they are very, very loud, because I've known them for quite some time, and they have become my good friends, and I want to thank them publicly for making such an effort. Every time we've asked the rabbis to come out, they have come out and they've represented. So thank you, rabbis. Look, the rabbis with the flag of Palestine, and these people say, and these people say that the people of the Jewish faith are not standing up for Palestine. Here we have in front of you in Birmingham, ultra-Orthodox rabbis. Just before I read out this, most of you probably don't know, it's against the Torah, the holy book of the Jewish faith. It is actually forbidden for Jews to have a homeland. They are forbidden in the Torah to have a homeland. They are meant to be divine. They're meant to be everywhere to spread the word of God. So they don't believe in a two-state. They believe in one state. There's only one state. Palestine 48. There's only one state. There's only one state. So there's no two-state solution. They believe in coexistence. Rightly, they coexisted pre-1948 that they pre-existed. There was a Jewish, lots of Jews lived in Palestine in harmony with Muslims and Christians. So with the Rabbi Beck's permission, I would like to read out this statement that the Rabbi has prepared. Rabbi Beck is from New Tricarta International and has kindly turned out for this rally today. Due to religious restrictions of the Jewish Sabbath, Rabbi Beck cannot speak today on the microphone. However, he is standing beside me here on the podium with his fellow rabbis for me to read out this statement to you. We are gathered here today as people of conscience and humanity, regardless of our backgrounds, to condemn the Zionist genocide in Gaza for the past 21 months. This aggression is another chapter in Israel's ongoing crimes against humanity. The criminal occupation of Palestine has endured for over 77 years in violation of both international law and the core principles of Judaism. It represents a rebellion against the Almighty. These continuous atrocities fuel a tragic and endless cycle of bloodshed in which both Palestinian and Jews around the world suffer. Jews across the globe are deeply pained and embarrassed when such crimes are committed in our name. It is a desecration of our religion when Judaism is misused as a justification for violence and oppression. At this opportunity, let us overcome Zionist lies and expose ourselves to the truth contrary to Zionist propaganda. The state of Israel is not supported by authentic Jews. Ultra-Orthodox Jews around the world from inception of Zionism to this very day have opposed it in principle and practice. The state of Israel and their crimes is forbidden in Jewish religious teachings. I repeat, the state of Israel and their crimes is forbidden by Jewish religious teachings. According to traditional Judaism, the establishment of a Jewish state before the coming of the Messiah is strictly forbidden. Jews are religiously obligated to accept their divinely decreed exile, live peacefully as loyal citizens in their respective countries, and be kind and just to neighbors at all. Going out of exile by force is a rebellion against the Almighty. Authentic Jews are loyal to God and cannot and will not rebel against him under any circumstances. And of course, murder, theft, and the oppression of others are clear violations of our faith. In the 10 Commandments, it is written, do not kill, do not steal, do not kill, do not steal. And these are exactly what the Zionists are doing. The state of Israel does not represent world Jewry or the Jewish religion. Let us be very clear. According to the Torah, Israel has no right to exist. The Zionists claim we have the right to defend ourselves. But we ask, who gives you the right to be there in the first place? The land belongs to the Palestinians. Give it back to them. Muslims are not the enemies of Jews. Long before Zionism, Jews lived peacefully in Palestine along Muslim neighbors. I myself was born in Palestine. My entire family left because we did not want to live under the Zionist occupation. My mother, who's already in her 90s, may she have long health. If I say this, in her 90s, may God grant her a long and healthy life. Remembers the very good relationship between Jews and Muslims. She recalls how we used to babysit each other's children. It's unbelievable how people are confused by Zionist false propaganda that this is a religious conflict. Anyone who knows even a little history understands that some of the best times during the 2,000-year exile were in the Muslim world. Even today, after 77 years of occupation and genocide, Jewish people still live peacefully and safely in all the Muslim countries, including Morocco, Tunisia, Algeria, Turkey, and Iran. To this day, Jewish communities thrive there with functioning synagogues and religious institutions. Rabbis from our organization have witnessed this firsthand during numerous visits. Iran is the greatest enemy of the Zionist state. Yet there is a large Jewish community of tens of Semitism. All of this shows and proves that this is not a conflict of all. This conflict is about occupation and genocide, and it must be stopped. Basically, Israel does not ensure the safety of the Jewish people. Rather, it has become the greatest catalyst for modern anti-Semitism due to the crimes it commits in the name of Jews everywhere. It commits crimes in the name of Jews everywhere, including the ultra-Orthodox community. Criticizing the state of Israel is not anti-Semitism. When we witness injustice, we must call it out, no matter who is responsible. If the perpetrators happen to be Jewish descent, it is painful and shameful for us as Jews. but it does not make those who speak out against these crimes anti-Semitic. We must not forget Gaza. We must not forget Gaza. We must not abandon Palestine. Let us hope and pray to the Creator that the Zionist state will be promptly dismantled without any further bloodshed, and that the entire land will be returned to the Palestinian people. This does not mean that Jews must be killed or expelled. No, we can live there under the Palestinian government, just as we live in Iran, Morocco, and Turkey, and as we live together in peace throughout generations. We pray for a world of true peace, a world where all people in Palestine, in Iran, and across the globe can live in dignity, safety, and harmony, inshallah. Please give it up to Rabbi Beck, Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Hein, and all those ultra-Orthodox Jews and Jews that challenge the Zionist entity, because there are millions and millions of Jews around the world, including in Iran, who have a thriving, they live thrivingly in the community of Iran, and there is no anti-Semitism. Ironically, they say there's anti-Semitism in the West, but there's no anti-Semitism in the Muslim countries. Can you see the hypocrisy? You see where this is going? Right, I just want you to say a chant, and then we'll introduce, we've got about 2 more speakers. It is not Judaism, it is Zionism. It is not Judaism. It is not Judaism. It is not Judaism. It is not Judaism. I just want to take this opportunity for those who do have people who are making discourse towards lots of activists like myself. The activist independent movement has put on this event, and I'm sure you will appreciate the amount of effort that actually goes into it. We don't appreciate anybody trying to dictate the way that we do our work. We are here for Palestine, and we are purely here for Palestine, and we will be the organization that will allow and give space and give a platform to speakers. If they are called misfits in the national movement in London, they are not misfits, they are guests, and we put out our hospitality towards the rabbis. And this evening, the rabbis will be in Sparkhill Park. So where we started the march, B11 4LX, the rabbis will be at the bandstand, and there is a question and answer session. So if you'd like to meet and greet with them and ask them any questions, they will respond back. Obviously, there won't be any electrics, etc., but it's quite an open environment, and there will be an open mic. Please spread the word. Please come out. Please come and meet them. Show your hospitality to the rabbis. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for my friends who are standing up for Palestine, the rabbis.
Free, 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 free from the river to the sea. Now we just got a few more speakers left. Now, as you know, activist independent movement has been putting this on. We are the grassroots activists. Now, when this started in 2023, certain people come out and use the name of Gaza and says, lend us your vote. Where are those independent candidates that stood in the name of Gaza? They are not here. Where have they been speaking when children the last week have been dying? When secrecies of babies, you all seen headless babies. They're coming up. Where are they now making videos on the social media? Where are they now highlighting what's happening in Gaza? When he shooted them, they want to use the name of Gaza. Shame on them. Say shame on them. Shame on them. You know, and at the end of the day, I will tell you straight, come the next local council election, they'll all be coming out of the woodwork to say to lend them the vote. Do not lend them the vote. Lend people the vote who are activists like me and Arif. I will be standing at the next local elections. When this shit finishes, tomorrow there is a big collection happening at Slow Gate Center. They will be sleeping in their beds. I'll be there as a volunteer helping up with the rubbish collection. That's what activism is. It's not when it suits you. You have to do the local work as well. And shame on them. They use the name of Gaza. They come out today with their haircuts and everything and stand and come behind the banners and come and make photos and videos of themselves. Shame on them. But today, we are proud to have Mr. George Galloway, who's always been with this movement since I was this high small. My parents, everyone, my mom, up until this day, knows about George Galloway. You mention any politician there, you won't know, but you know George Galloway. So I want you to make a big noise for Mr. George Galloway, who's coming especially to Birmingham. Make some noise for Mr. Galloway.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Noble Shaykh Asrar, noble rabbis, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace be on all of you, and may you, like me, recover from that long walk in that great heat. But I'll tell you what, it's as hot as hell in Gaza, and the Palestinian people have to make that walk every day to pick up food. And when they're there to pick up the food, the gangsters of the settler state gun them down, bomb them, fire shells at them. So whatever sacrifice we make today, it is as nothing to the daily sacrifice of millions of Palestinian people, men, women, and children. And so at the beginning of my remarks, I bow my head to all the martyrs of this latest chapter and all of the preceding chapters of the martyrdom of the Palestinian people. I salute the prisoners in the Israeli dungeons. I salute the resistance fighters defending their land, defending their families against illegal occupation and invasion. The only people with a legal right to bear arms in the Palestinian occupied territories are the Palestinian resistance. Only they are fighting lawfully, legally. I salute the people who marched here today and the millions who have marched throughout this latest chapter more than 20 months. I can add nothing to what has already been said about the agony, daily, hourly agony of people being burned alive in tents by weapons paid for by the United States of America and partially constructed here in the United Kingdom. I cannot add to the pain that we all feel every time we open our telephones, every princess that we see on our phone who's now dead, every child, even children unborn, being held aloft, martyred, massacred, genocided. I can add no words to the pain we feel about the fact that Gaza has the highest number of amputations that the world has ever known. There are more people without limbs, sometimes all of their limbs, in Gaza in 20 months than there has ever been in human history. I can add no words to the pain we feel at the mother weeping over the bodies of her children, the bodies of her husband, There is no word that I can add, and I'm good with words, about the agony that this has been, but you have to ask yourself this question. If we feel that, if we've watched that, why do these criminals in that building behind us in the BBC, Bibi Netanyahu see, why are they so determined not to see it, not to show it to you, but instead to lie about it to you? And as the Sheikh said, adding insult to injury, if you don't pay them to lie to you, they will put you in prison for not having a television license. So I have no words, no time to add to the body of words that have been spoken already. So I want to concentrate on just two matters. My colleague, Chris Williamson, my former parliamentary colleague, my colleague in the Workers' Party, and I will this week launch a new campaign called One State Palestine. One State Palestine. I have fought for the liberation of Palestine for 50 years, 50 years this year. I did not fight so that millions of Palestinian refugees around the world would be refused their right to return to their own land and their own country. I did not fight for a Bantustan, for a Palestinian local authority acting under Israeli sovereignty. We stand for one state, Palestine, from the river to the sea. Palestine will be free. So join us online later this week when we launch that movement. Follow us now on Twitter. Follow us on social media. Let's make this a great mass movement to recover the rights of all Palestinian people, whether in exile, under occupation, or under annexation and genocide. My last point, for I fear I'm running out of time, is this.
You're our guest, George. You're our guest. Your time.
No, but I never outstay my welcome anywhere. My last point is this. We walked past Starbucks. See who was sitting in Starbucks?
Yes.
You see the Muslims sitting in Starbucks?
Yes.
Maybe shame on them, maybe shame on us, because we did not persuade them yet. And we have to persuade every person of conscience of the need to boycott Starbucks, McDonald's, Coca-Cola, and all the criminal enterprises that are supporting the Israeli genocide. But here's something else. It's important to boycott Coca-Cola, Starbucks, McDonald's. But you have to boycott Labour also. What's the point of boycotting Coca-Cola and voting for Keir Starmer, who's covered in the blood of the Palestinian people that you boycotted for in the first place? So, you know, Professor Miller said in his able speech, there are Zionist organizations everywhere. There's a Zionist organization in Birmingham Town Hall. Birmingham City Hall is a Zionist organization. Birmingham Labour Party is a Zionist organization. The BBC is a Zionist organization. They don't have to have the word Jewish in front of it to be a Zionist organization. And these rabbis are the proof that most Zionists are not Jews. And many Jews are not Zionists. And we must never confuse these two concepts. So my last words to you are this. It's a long way off, May of next year. But the Labour Party in Birmingham are absolutely terrified that they are going to lose control in this great second city of the country. They've bankrupted the city. They're trying to starve the bin men whose legitimate struggle for their own rights they slander and libel at every turn. And they are completely silent on the genocide of the Palestinian people in Gaza. For any one of those reasons, or any two, or for all of these reasons, boycott Labour next May in the local council elections. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Brothers and sisters, give it up for the big man himself, Mr. George Galloway. Once again, Birmingham, give it up for George Galloway as he sits into his Palestine fizzy drink. Give it up for Mr. George Galloway. And whilst I'm doing gags here, I had to get out. My son had to compete with George. And I just hope the fashion police don't arrest me. You like that one, didn't you, George? Right. Please always remember when the local elections do come, it is not just about these political parties. It is about independence. It is about others also that are trying to represent their communities and stand up against this genocide. Please measure those candidates on what they have done, not the short term, but the long term. There are not many people who are genuine. They are disingenuous, and we must go against those people. We must be very, very critical in who we vote for. I just want to make another announcement. Sorry, rest my hand. Just want to make a quick announcement. We are asking for a donation. If people could do this QR code, there are people around with buckets. We are volunteers. As you can appreciate, it costs a lot of money to put on an event of this magnitude and to provide water, etc., etc. There's many things. So kindly, if anybody wants to make a donation, please, the QR code. People are coming around. Please make a donation. Please do that. The activist movement here, AIM, Activist Independent Movement, they deserve your support. Please support them. Thank you so much for that, George. Really, really do appreciate it. It takes lots of effort, lots of volunteers. I promise you, it's not a 1 week turnaround. It takes about 6 weeks. We print at least 10,000 flyers, put on 1,000 posters. We go up and down the country. Lots and lots of hours are spent on this, but we do it for Palestine because we love Palestine. We want Palestine to be free. Just before I introduce our next guest, I just want to touch on one further point. When Trump went to get his gifts, in the Middle East, he went to Saudi Arabia. He met King Salman and said, Salman, I'm here for you. What do you have for me? King Salman said, Trump, you have such a lovely hairstyle. I love your tan. You look so fit. You are very healthy. You're the best looking guy. I can give you 1 trillion. He said, I will give you 1 trillion. Trump said himself, when King Salman gave me 1 trillion, I thought he's going to say, he's going to mention Gaza. He said, no, you just do this for me. I want your weapons. I want this. Protect me. Protection money. $1 trillion of Muslim money. As you are aware, the 2 holy lands are in Saudi Arabia, Mecca and Medina. The people that give their money, that same money is being used against their own brothers and sisters. But there was no mention of Gaza. Trump then went on to his next trip. He went to UAE, the United Arab Emirates, the shameless people who openly support Zionism and are in cahoots and collaborating with the Zionist entity. Shame on them. They met their leader, I think his name's Zaid, or whatever his name is, but he's definitely a Zionist. He said, he said, what did Saudi Arabia give you? He said, they gave me 1 trillion. He said, okay, now I will give you 1.2 trillion to surpass the 1 trillion. Trump grabbed it. He grabbed it and he said, thank you. He said, 1 trillion. He said, what do you want? He said, whatever Saudi give, I will give you more. But make sure you look after me and make sure you protect me and make sure I am your good buddy. He then went on to his third country. He went to Qatar. He went to Qatar. The Qataris, as you know, are mediating in the background, etc. They're supposed to be for Palestine. He went to meet the leader of the Qataris. And Trump said, when I got there, they said, what did the Saudis give you? What did the UAE give you? He said, 1 trillion, 1.2 trillion. The Qataris said, we will give you 1.4 trillion and we will give you a super jet. Trump said, wow, what a friend. You're going to surpass the 1 trillion, the 1.2 trillion. Now you will give me 1.4 trillion and you are gifting me with a $400 million super jet that I can be in the skies in luxury. I'll take it. Thank you so much. But what they didn't do, none of them did. They didn't speak up for Gaza. Shame! They did not speak up for the brothers and sisters, their brethren, their bloodline. They did not stand up. This is the treachery that we have in the Arab world. This is the sellouts. We have many, many sellouts in the Muslim world, and all people that stand against the Palestinians. We, the people here today, we will be proven right. Brothers and sisters, our next speaker, a very famous speaker. Not only does he spit bars, and I'm sure I can give him good run for his money. I may have a challenge with him, but he's very well known in the activist movement and has been around for many years. And we must recognize his investigative journalistic skills and his prolific public speaking. The one thing that Lowkey does say, he says, follow the money. You follow the money, you will find the answer. Ladies and gentlemen, let the next speaker, I'd like to ask you to give it up Birmingham's hospitality for the leading activist, Mr. Lowkey.
Thank you very much. When I say long live Palestine, I want everyone to say long live Gaza. Are you with me? Long live Palestine! Long live Palestine! This is for Palestine, Ramallah, West Bank, Gaza. This is for the child that is searching for an answer. Wish I could take your tears and replace them with laughter. Long live Palestine! Long live Palestine! This is for Palestine of Quds, the capital Jerusalem. Unarmed people marching to the wall and they're shooting them. Suppression is the question. Resistance is the answer. Long live Palestine! Long live Palestine! While we listen to tunes made by ignorant fools, Israel, not the UN from delivering food. They bring in the troops and we won't even glimpse of the news. Make money off the weapons we are quick to consume. And this is not simply a question of different views. Forget emotions, this is facts. What I spit is the truth. It's not about if you're a Christian or if you're a Jew. It's just people living in different conditions to you. They still die when you bomb their schools, mosques and hospitals. It's not because of rockets, please God. Can you stop this all? I'm not related to the strangers on the TV. But I relate, because those strangers could have been me. Words can never ever explain the war tragedy. It's not a war, they're just murdering more rapidly, and we are automatically supporting pure savagery. Imagine how you feel if this was your family. This is for Palestine of Quds, the capital of Jerusalem. Unarmed people marching to the wall and they're shooting them. Suppression is a question. Resistance is the answer. Long live Palestine! Long live Palestine! This is for Palestine, Ramallah, West Bank, Gaza. This is for the child that is searching for an answer. Wish I could take your tears and replace them with laughter. Long live Palestine! Long live Palestine! If Ibrahim Abu Thuraya could resist without a wheelchair, 10-year challenge, tell Rigged we are still here. Until that killer Netanyahu, we should feel fear. The old live through us, guarantee the children will care. Criminal, not invincible when you know it. Sarmadoon, still sitting in their stoic. You may not feel us with you when you listen to our poems. You inspired humanity. Your resistance is heroic, regardless of talk. It is time we answer the call. Through your strength of spirit, you provide example for all. How to live, how to love when attacked from the clouds above. The songs you sung can't be drowned by the sound of guns. Won't just watch your tragic times through a satellite dish. The least that we can give you is an anthem like this. They panic, try to analyze and sanitize this, but we love you more than ever. Still Palestine lives. This is for Palestine, Ramallah, West Bank, Gaza. This is for the child that is searching for an answer. Wish I could take your tears and replace them with laughter. Long live Palestine! Long live Palestine! This is for Palestine of Quds, the capital Jerusalem. Unarmed people marching to the wall and they're shooting them. Suppression is a question. Resistance is the answer. Long live Palestine! Long live Palestine! So, I'm going to be concise. I'm going to say the following. There is at least 8 sites belonging to Elbit Systems in this country. Elbit Systems is Israel's largest arms manufacturer. It supplies 85% of the drones that Israel uses in Gaza and in the West Bank. In addition to that, we must be clear, Elbit Systems was involved in the building of the apartheid wall across the West Bank also. Britain, as a signatory to the Arms Trade Treaty, should not make exports which may be used for violations of international humanitarian law. According to Article 2 of the Genocide Convention, Britain, as a signatory to it, has the obligation to stop the carrying out of genocide and punish those for the commission of genocide. Britain is not acting according to its own laws when exporting weapons to Israel. You must take direct action now to shut down those factories. They exist here in this country and they are directly providing support for the Israeli military. There have been ammunition sent, there has been quadcopters manufactured in this country, in Bristol, at the Filton site. Go to the factories and stop them producing those weapons. Go to the factories and stop them exporting those weapons. Increase the pressure on your own government to act in accordance with international law. Direct action is here to stay. It is not dead, and it will be a factor to deal with in this country going forward. Let us be absolutely clear. We have been systematically and strategically demobilized into this country. We've been depoliticized and put into a position where acting for Palestine is either criminalized, but at very least stigmatized. However, the vast majority of humanity exists within political systems that do not deem armed resistance to what Israel does as a form of terrorism. Quite the opposite. The vast majority of humanity, as post-colonial subjects who emerged out of colonial rule, often by the British, view taking up of this act, any human being protecting themselves and believe in protecting the Palestinians. You will not degrade us in this country a way that we can resist this process that we die to. Thank you very much.
Lowkey. Around the country, do look out for his dates. It is very important that you also take part in Shenston, which is a local Israeli arms factory, and there are weekly pickets. If you know known activists, every week there are morning pickets to stop the workers from going into work. We ask you to support Shenston. There is a end of month demonstration, and there are weekly pickets. It is about direct action, and we must do the daily pickets. We do have one more speaker, and I would request you to stay and hear his very powerful words. He's Palestinians. His name's Sami. He's from Khalil. He went to the march to Gaza, and he would like to express his words on behalf of the people of Palestine.
Thank you all. Thank you, Birmingham. On behalf of the Palestinians, on behalf of Gaza, thank you very much. And on behalf of the global march to Gaza, thank you again for supporting us. It was hard, it was hot, it was hot as today, but the heat in Gaza is more than ever. The heat in Gaza cannot be explained and cannot be bearable to all of us. Thank you to the Independent Activist Party for organizing Activist Independent Party for organizing this, and thank you very much the people of Birmingham for that. I'm going to read a statement on behalf of the global movement to Gaza. As mentioned, my name is Sami. I am from the global movement to Gaza, and I'm sure you're all aware of what we try to do and what we're trying to do. We are a humanitarian group that aims to work globally to contribute to the effort to break the siege on Gaza. We tried last month to march to Rafah from Egypt, and the whole world saw the complicity of the regime there, and how they stopped us, and how they treated us, attacking us, stoning us, deportation, and all kinds of shameful action against a humanitarian group. A week or so before that, we saw how the Zionist entity treated our friends from the Maghreb flotilla, and how our brothers and sisters from Sumud being treated in Libya. The reaction of the Zionist entity and the complicit regime drove us to be even stronger, and that's why we are now the three together. We are announcing a coalition with the name of Global Sumud Flotilla, and we are going to break the siege on Gaza. We will never support it. We will never stop supporting justice and freedom. We call on everyone to join the effort and work together to support the just rights of the Palestinian people. Free, 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 free. From the river to the sea. From the river to the sea. Thank you, Birmingham.
Thank you, Sami. Thank you to all the activists that have gone with the flotilla Madeleine, and the march to Gaza, where 80 countries were represented by numerous activists trying to get the blockade lifted. But unfortunately, the Egyptian regime did not allow our brave activists. Sami was actually part of that. Lee Evans was that, and there's many others here. I just want to thank everybody. There's one more chance. So many deaths due to the IDF. So many deaths due to the IDF. So many deaths due to the IDF. You know what I'm saying? I can't say, but you know what I'm saying. But we must keep standing up. We must stay on the streets. We must